Hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways and Adventures. Yeah, we're still a homestead in the desert, but I'm just shortening it up a little bit so my introduction doesn't take up 15 minutes of the video. So anyway, this is what's going on out here. We're having a little bit of wind, and apparently we're gonna have winds all the way through Tuesday at 6 p.m. is when they're saying they should die down. So anyway, let's see, what have I been doing? Well, besides working on my spread by sitting down all day, I did do some cleaning and stuff around, but let's get outside and show you the important stuff, huh? All right. So, first of all, I did modify the top that I had cut off of my tote koozie by putting these metal pieces on the ends of it, or on the edges, so it won't fall all the way down inside. And now I've got a cover for my tote koozie, because in 1 month's time without a cover on it, half of the water evaporated all the way down to this bar down here. So that was a big loss of valuable water. I've got the pump running right now to do filtration in there, because this doesn't fit as good as it should. So bugs can still find their way in there, and then they drown on the top of the water and got to get cleaned up. So I still got 12.5 on this. I'll let it run for a while longer. Of course, the sky is clear blue. The geo-jerks haven't been doing anything here lately, but they probably don't have to because of the winds. I have seen planes fly over, but they've only had regular little contrails behind them, nothing that stretched across the sky, except yesterday morning. One of them came across, and it was right overhead here. It went all the way across, and then I went inside and came back out, and that thing had spread out probably a mile wide. It was a giant white cloud all the way across the sky. Amazing. So a little while ago, I was just looking out the window, and I saw this humongous, a giant horsefly. And I knew it was a horsefly because it had a saddle and a bridle. My God, it was big. Oh boy. So anyway, let's take a walk over and check in the battery room. I open the door during the day because it gets a little warm in here. Oh, there's another horsefly sitting right there on the battery. Yeah, they're starting to come out and around. My neighbor said yesterday he was down for supper. We had shrimp and crab louie salad and strawberry cheesecake for dessert, and some homemade bread. And we sat and chatted and stuff like that. But yeah, I got 14 in the batteries right now. And I'm producing about 300 to 450 watts of electricity with the PMA. Of course, I have seen it go up higher than that because a dust devil shot through here earlier and really kicked up a bunch of dust and everything. But luckily, it went down the other road over there. It stayed clear of the stuff up here. All right, so it has been exactly 1 week today since I transplanted the tomato plants. So I did promise I would keep up to date on the progress of the tomato plants. So we're going to head down here right now and take a look at the progress. Oops. I better shut my water off. I'm losing water here. I gotta fix that leak. I won't lose that water. I'll actually pour it into my my barrels in the greenhouse that I use to fill my watering can for the small starter pots. Oh, look at this. Wind blew over my buckets. Boy, wind, wind, wind. All right, so let's get a look at the tomato plants, because I know you're all waiting to see that. I can pick up the trash here. My red onions are looking nice. So you remember, this is the one I was showing you while I transplanted it. And look, I've got flowers on it already. Exactly 1 week since it was transplanted. Now you remember, I only left 5 inches of the plant above ground. Everything else is buried under the ground going this way under to this corner. So 5 inches, okay? So my hand at right here at the bottom of my fingers across is exactly 4 inches. Okay, so if I put my thumb there, that gives me 5 inches. All right, so from the bottom of my hand to the top of my thumb is 5 inches. So we're going to come down here and I'm going to set my hand on the ground and get the leaf out of the way. And 5 inches comes to here. Okay, so we'll go to there. There's another 5 inches. That's 10 inches. And then if you take the leaves to the top here, so it's 12 inches tall now. In 1 week time, went from 5 to 12. Okay, now that one over there, something had chewed a chunk out of the bottom of the stem. But the plant isn't dead yet, so I moved some soil up around the base of the plant, and some of the little hairs that are on the stem should take root and maybe save that plant. But look at these, even these little tiny baby ones that I had put in, they're up now probably 6 or 7 inches tall. This guy's probably 5, 10, probably 10 inches tall. That one over there, probably 10 inches tall. And what's all this stuff? Oh, beets me. Oh, I know you've heard that before. So anyway, yeah, those are beets. And I can't wait for them to get a little bit larger because my mouth's watering thinking about them. So we're going to move all the way around the circle here. And you remember my Bosque pear graft here, which is right there where the graft was on the tree. And this is it growing up right here. And it's already trying to get out the top of the tree. And it's got some branches growing on it. So that's definitely a good, successful graft. This apple down here, it's still pliable and it's still got little tiny buds on it. But I gotta let it go a little bit longer, make sure that it sets, and see if any of the buds actually pop. This top bud does look like it's getting ready to open up. So hopefully that one took. All right. So guess what? Today you get a bonus. You're going to get to see me take a pee in the garden. You betcha. We're going to bend right over here and I'm going to take a pee. There we go. Isn't that neat? Yum. Oh my God, that's sweet. I got another one coming out there, but it's got to grow a little bit. And there's some more flowers on there. So it's getting time. Boy, that is good. Okay. The bean is starting to wrap its way around the pole and climb up. And the other pea plant over here has got some flowers on it. So it'll set pods in no time. But look at the grapevine I got from Tony and Leanne. Now this grapevine was only as tall as that cut off branch right there. So now it's 2.5, almost 3 times as tall as it was when I got it. And look at the grapes on it. There are, I count 8 clusters of grapes set on this little grapevine already. So I will get some grapes to eat off there, and that's Concord grape. Those are the big purple seeded grapes. They got the seeds in them. But as a kid, we used to go down into the woods and they would grow wild and eat those things until every time you burped, all you tasted was grape jelly. Yeah, good stuff. So we're going to come around this side and look at the fava beans. Look at the size of those things now. Got a bunch of them in here. So these are the early plants, the two earlier plants. So I'll be getting ready to pluck some of those off pretty soon. And I'll have some fava beans. I'll put them in a small canning jar. And those I'll just eat as steamed beans. And take them out of the pods, of course. And I've got flowers on all of these others. So I'll be making plenty of fava beans. And if I get enough of the good ones, I will show you how to make the fava nuts. Is basically take all of the beans out of the pod and season them with a little bit of spice, put them on a cookie sheet, bake them in the oven until they come out crispy and spicy and just totally delicious. And hopefully by then I'll have my brand new smell-o-vision and taste-o-vision. Kidding. So I got my last little tomato plant sticking in the ground there, and it's coming up too. So believe it or not, tomatoes and carrots get along, so I can put them together right there. But I did plant tomatoes in this area last year. They never produced anything, but I did have them planted here. So I'm hoping that that plant makes it. Now I've got some more eggshells that are drying out, and I'll be crushing those up and putting them around the base of this because I didn't have any left over when I planted all those other tomatoes last week. So this one needs to have some calcium boost. And my carrots, they're all getting up there. Pretty soon I'll be eating fresh carrots. That grapevine is doing pretty good. No buds or grapes on it yet, but it's starting to outspring some new branches and that stuff. So we'll see how well it gets this year. It's got to strengthen up a little bit before it is going to produce anything. But this grapevine, look at the clusters of grapes on this. I have so many clusters of grapes on this grapevine. They are everywhere, totally everywhere. I am going to get a lot of grapes off this vine this year. These are the Thompson green seedless table grapes. But if I get enough, I'm going to try to make a small bottle of wine out of them. Let's see how it comes out, because it'll give me a nice white wine. All right, this little guy has got flowers on him. All right, and that's the giant Roma. So that one over there that I showed you first, that's my giant cherry tomatoes. Those are just pop in your mouth while you're working in the garden things. I love those. Cilantro is going to seed, but I won't need all the seeds, so I've cut some of them off at the top and given those to the chickens. The chickens will eat up the cilantro leaves and the seeds and that stuff. They like them. Tangerine, my Siberian apricot, is getting taller than me. So I'm probably going to have to put in a bigger support here to hold it, but I don't want to drive it in beside the tree and damage any roots. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take two pieces of wood and put one on this side and one on this side with screws going up as high as the roof here, and then I can put some of my tie tape across to support the tree. I wanted to show you on the tie tape. When I tie the tie tape on here, I don't use knots. Well, actually, it is a form of a knot. It's what they call a surgeon's knot. And what a surgeon's knot is when you put the when you're getting ready to tie the first tie, like your shoelace, you normally put one piece over the other and then pull it out the other side, and you only go around once. Well, a surgeon's knot, you go 2 times or 3 times, and then when you pull it tight, it will not slip back. Try that on your robe belt. If you wear a robe around the house sometimes, you know, you always just put one tie in there and then it wants to slip all the time, so you end up tying a bow in it and you got this big bow thing sticking out in front of you. Well, instead of all of that, just wrap it twice around and pull it tight and it'll stay there. Little tip for you. So I did bring some of my tomato clips over here so that I can clip my tomato plants onto the posts. I already did that one over there because it's growing fast and it's already got flowers on it. So I put a tomato clip on there to hold the plant and give it a little bit of support so the weight doesn't drop it over. All right, moving on down the line. Hey, look, there's a pair. Yeah, there's a single. There's a single. So I got a few pairs going to come out of this tree this year. That's a good thing. Now, down here I have a Fuji apple sitting right in there. Cool. So that's from Andy's tree. That was a scion I got from his tree when I pruned it back for him. And now I've got an apple growing on it already. So, last but not least, we're going to go into the greenhouse. Take a look in there because my Anna apple is getting big. Look at that. Yeah, it's growing. My mouth's watering thinking about eating that too. Got to get bigger and get a little red to it. But all my apple trees are really doing well. And my cherry tree here, it's green, but it sure as heck isn't going nuts like it should. So I will add some fertilizer to that and see if I can get it to come up a little bit better. Here's all my citrus trees. They're all looking really healthy and happy. My non-king cherry over there is looking really happy. And my fig tree is looking really happy. And that stuff growing out the bottom there is purslane. And people see that growing around their yard and they think it's a weed. They tear it up. But this stuff is actually delicious. And it's very healthy for you. It could be used as a medicinal herb. I love it. There's some more growing over here. So, these are all peach tree volunteers that I dug out of the different areas of the garden from my early Alberta peach tree. And I was going to take them down and sell them, but I think these needed to be planted into larger pots. They're not going to make it in these little pots. They're already getting root bound in there. And they dry out too quickly. So I'll get them into bigger pots like this week. Now, this one, which is the strongest and doing the best of them all, or this one of these two, I'm going to keep for myself, and I'll up pot it into a pot this size, and I'll keep it inside here and let it get strong, so that if my other peach tree did drown and get root rot, I can pull it out of there and I'll plant something else in that area, and then sorry, I kicked my support out, and then I'll transplant this one out into the new garden when I get that all put together. All right, So last but not least, before I close this off, as I know I haven't posted in 2 days, so I'm going a little bit long here to make sure I get everything involved. YouTube contacted me and said that congratulations, I am now eligible for super thanks and super stickers. So you'll see a new icon down low where you can click the thumbs up. There'll also be a super thanks option there, where those of you who are really happy with me answering your questions for you and you want to show your gratitude, you can make a monetary donation to me. And I'd appreciate that big time, because living out here in the desert, sometimes money gets really, really tight, like right about now. So I'm hoping that I get some of you out there that will give me some super thanks and super stickers. I'm not sure what that is, but I think this is going to be the first video where those things will come out. So if anybody knows what super stickers are, save me the time of going online and looking them up. Drop me some information down in the comment section. I'd appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. This is all for today. I'm going to move on out of here. Wow, look, grapes, grapes, grapes everywhere. Woo! So anyway, thank you for joining me. Don't forget, thumbs up down there. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And don't forget to try out that super thanks thing. This is G Bear signing off.